Tensions keep rising tonight in the unprecedented standoff between the White House and the FBI.
President Trump says that he wants to release a classified document that he believes proves the FBI agents are acting out of line in the Russia scandal. But the head of the FBI publicly warned today the president that would be a big mistake. KCAL9 political reporter Dave Bryan has the late details tonight on this story. Dave?
Yeah, this memo's really set off fire and brimstone. I mean, there are literally new charges in one direction or the other almost every hour now, it seems, this evening. CNN now reporting tonight that the controversial memo could be released to the public as early as tomorrow. But a flurry of new objections and controversy tonight could considerably slow down that schedule, including a scathing statement from the FBI, which expressed grave concerns. The day after his State of the Union address, President Trump was in no mood to answer questions about the memo from House Republicans that accuses federal authorities of mishandling the Russia investigation.
Mr. President, any response to the FBI?
All right, we're leaving.
But the FBI, which rarely engages in public debates like this, confronted the White House, releasing a statement attacking the accuracy of the GOP memo, warning, "We have grave concerns about material omissions of fact that fundamentally impact the memo's accuracy."
On the national security front,
a stinging challenge from the FBI, whose director, Christopher Wray, was handpicked by President Trump. But as he walked out of the House after his State of the Union address Tuesday night, the president left no doubt when asked if the Republican memo would be released.
Let's release the memo. Oh, yeah. Oh, don't worry. 100%.
CBS News reports Monday night, Wray and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein met with White House Chief of Staff John Kelly at the White House to argue against the memo release. But Kelly brushed off their concerns.
It'll be released here pretty quick, I think, and the whole world can see it. He wants everything out so the American people can make up their own minds, and if there's people to be held accountable, then so be it.
California Congressman Devin Nunes released a statement saying, having stonewalled Congress's demands for information for nearly a year, it's no surprise to see the FBI and DOJ issue spurious objections to allowing the American people to see information related to surveillance abuses at these agencies. Nunes, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, has been the driving force behind the Republican memo, and his staff put the memo together. It alleges abuses by the FBI and Department of Justice, DOJ, in seeking a warrant to conduct surveillance on a Trump campaign official. And Nunes charged on Wednesday it's clear that top officials used unverified information in a court document to fuel a counterintelligence investigation during an American political campaign. The bottom line, according to Congressman Adam Schiff, the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, a Democrat from Burbank, is releasing the controversial memo would only encourage the White House to escalate its interference in the Russia investigation.
The danger in all of this, besides the obvious one of politicizing the intelligence process, is that it send a message to the White House that he can fire Rod Rosenstein or he can fire Bob Mueller, and there are GOP members who are so vested in his presidency that they will roll over. And that will cause a constitutional crisis if that's the message he takes from this.
Now, tonight, the charges are still flying. The Democrats say Visalia Congressman Nunes, who we saw in that report, the Intelligence Committee chair, refused to say when pressed on this whether his staff worked on the controversial memo in conjunction with the White House. Clearly, if the White House was working on the memo, it could lend credence to the Democrats' charge that this whole memo is about protecting President Trump by shifting the blame away from him and his campaign to the FBI and DOJ. So, Jeff, Lena, wow.
Just another day and all kinds of new information, right?
Just another day in paradise.
Yeah. Now, Dave, I understand still in the House there's some sort of charge that's been raised by the Democrats related to this GOP memo. What is that?
Yeah, this just happened, literally, almost minutes ago, really. Just when you thought you'd heard everything about this memo, wait, there's more. Tonight, Congressman Schiff sent a letter to Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes charging that the classified GOP memo, which was sent to the White House to ultimately be made public, was secretly altered. The word shifting, Schiff says, was changed after the House Intelligence Committee had already voted on and approved making the document public. Schiff writes that means there must be another committee vote on whether to release the document because he says after reviewing both versions of the memo this evening, it became clear that material changes were made to the version sent to the White House. Lena?
All right, Dave.